Yinka Beyoku is my name. Welcome to this edition of Straight Talk. I believe it will be a memorable encounter, and every inch of it you're going to be enjoying. A story is told of a young boy who had an insight into his future, what he will become. While every other growing child was saying that I want to become a doctor, I want to become a lawyer, I want to become an engineer, he seemed to have had insight as to where he was going. He consistently said that he will want to become a chief executive, a very rich one with cars and mansions here and there. Of course, his brothers thought that he was a bit loud. They thought he was lousy and he spoke unguardedly. So they envied him and looked for a way of pocketing him sometime in future. On one of these days, their father had sent them on an errand, and they decided to do something to frustrate and to paralyze his dream. They gave him up for a fee to a very rich man, and that rich man took him to the city. But being a very diligent boy who had an eye on the fulfillment of his dream, he worked diligently, combined so many things at the same time. He was a gate man. He was at the same time involved in laundry. He ran errands for the man. And he was loved by his boss. He called on his boss one day and said, I want to go to school if you don't mind. The boss agreed to send him to school. He went to school. He graduated. He had his degree. He took it a step further and combined it with some professional courses. At the end of the day, he became so lettered, and ultimately he fulfilled his dream of being a chief executive. It was not as if he didn't have distractions, but he was focused. He had an eye on his vision. And I need to remind you that vision is very important. There is nothing that kills a man of vision. The vision that man has remains his propelling force. The guy worked diligently. He didn't allow anything to distract him. In the midst of satanic inhibitions, he moved on. He didn't resort to self-pity. At any rate, self-pity does not put food on the table for any man. He made sure that he ran with his vision, and ultimately he became a chief executive. He became an employer of labor. He fulfilled his dream. How does this affect you, you might ask? God has created you like he has created every man for a purpose. A biro is meant to fulfill a purpose. A biro is meant to write. You have been created for a purpose. And I pray for you that by the Spirit of the Lord, you will fulfill that purpose. The Bible speaks in Genesis 1 and verse 28. Say, and God blessed them. And he said unto them, be fruitful and multiply. Replenish the earth. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over everything that moveth upon the surface of the earth. David said, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works. And 1 Peter 2:9 says, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar person. Go, show forth the praises of him who has called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Discover the purpose for which you have been created, and by the Spirit of the Lord, as you run with this purpose, you will fulfill destiny. you will, by the Spirit of the Lord, reach your goal in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you for being a part of this broadcast. Remember, what a man does first determines what God will do next.